Have you ever felt the air shift? Like the room knew something before you did? That's how it felt that afternoon. I was alone at home, curled up on the couch with a half-eaten bag of chips and an old movie humming in the background. The kind of lazy day you don't expect to become memorable. Then the doorbell rang. Odd, since no one ever just showed up, not without a text or call first. I opened the door, and there he was, my cousin Daniel. He hadn't changed much. Same crooked smile, same eyes that didn't quite match his expression. But something was off. He barely said hello before asking, almost urgently, "Can we talk?" Alone. Before I could answer, he stepped inside and shut the door behind us. Something tightened in my chest. I didn't know it yet, but nothing would be the same after that. Daniel and I weren't particularly close, not anymore. We'd grown up like siblings. Our mothers were sisters, and we spent countless summers chasing each other through sprinklers, sharing secrets under blanket forts, and getting scolded for laughing too loud past bedtime. But time and adulthood do what they always do, stretch bonds thin, sometimes until they fray. I hadn't seen him in over a year. The last time was at my brother's wedding, and even then, it was just a polite hug and a few jokes over cake. He was married now, had been for 3 years, to Lena. I liked her. She had this quiet strength about her, and a laugh that made you feel like the funniest person alive. So when he showed up that day unannounced, with eyes darting like a hunted animal, something in me stirred. I wasn't sure if it was worry or dread. "Is everything okay?" I asked, motioning toward the kitchen. "Do you want water or something?" He shook his head, glancing over his shoulder like someone might be watching. "No. I need to tell you something, and I didn't want anyone else around." That's when I noticed it, his hands trembling slightly. And then the scent. Not strong, but there. Perfume. Sweet, musky, expensive. And definitely not Lena's. I'd hug her enough times to know. We sat at the dining table. The silence between us was awkward, heavy with unspoken tension. He rubbed his temples, then looked at me with a strange mix of desperation and guilt. "You remember how close we used to be?" he asked. "Of course," I said cautiously. "Why?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a folded photo. My hands went cold before I even touched it. It was old, one of those candid shots someone had taken without us noticing. It was Daniel and me, sitting side by side at my parents' lake house. I was maybe 16. He couldn't have been more than 18. "I've been thinking about that summer a lot," he said, voice low. "And everything that happened after." I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to know what he meant by everything. My mind raced through a dozen vague memories, conversations, glances, the time we snuck out to see a movie and lied about it later. But none of them seemed worthy of the weight in his tone. "Daniel, what is this about?" He looked at me then, fully, like he was bracing himself for impact. And just like that, the ground beneath what I thought I knew began to crack. "I did something," he said. "And I didn't know who else to tell." His voice was tight, but clear. No stammering now. Like he'd rehearsed this. I stared at him. "What kind of something?" Daniel didn't answer right away. He just looked down, fingers twisting the edge of his hoodie sleeve until it frayed. The seconds dragged, and something bitter started crawling up my spine. I didn't know if I was scared for him or of him. "Daniel, you're freaking me out." He finally met my eyes. "I slept with someone." I blinked, caught off guard by how blunt he was. "Okay, why are you telling me this?" He looked pained. "Because it wasn't just someone." My heart paused, like it wanted to skip this part. "It was someone you know." Everything in me went still. "No," I said instinctively. "No, don't do this." "I'm sorry," he said quickly. "I shouldn't have come. I thought, God, I don't even know what I thought. I just couldn't keep it inside anymore." I stood up, suddenly too hot, too crowded in my own skin. "Who?" "I shouldn't say." "Daniel, who?" He looked away. And that's when I knew. My breath hitched. "Lena?" "No, God, no. Not Lena. She doesn't know. I don't think she suspects anything." That should have been a relief. but somehow it made it worse. More cowardly. More deliberate. Then who? My voice cracked. He hesitated, then said, Sam. The name hit like a slap. I took a step back. My fiancé. Sam and I had been together for nearly 5 years. Engaged for one. We just started planning the wedding last month. Venue tours, menu tastings, even argued over what song we'd dance to first. And Sam had held my hand through my mother's illness, brought me soup when I had the flu, learned how to cook just because I once said I liked homemade pasta. I couldn't breathe. Daniel, I said slowly, tell me you're lying. I wish I was. The room spun. I grabbed the edge of the table, trying to anchor myself.
Why?
I whispered.
How?
It started after your engagement party, he said. We ran into each other at that bar downtown, the one near Lena's old job. We were both drunk. I didn't even recognize him at first. But we started talking. And then it just spiraled. I didn't mean for it to keep happening. But it did. How many times?
4, 5.
I don't know. I lost count. I felt like vomiting. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was intimate. They kept seeing each other. Lied to my face. Ate at my table. I trusted you, I said, my voice breaking. Both of you. I know. I let you in.
I told you everything about Sam.
Every fight, every fear you knew. And you still. I'm sorry. I laughed, bitter. You don't get to be sorry. He flinched. I turned away, gripping the counter, so hard my knuckles turned white. My mind flashed back to moments that now felt poisoned. Sam hugging Daniel goodbye after Thanksgiving dinner, their 2 long conversations about music, the way they always seemed to laugh at inside jokes I didn't remember them sharing. And then the worst part hit me. You came here to confess, I said. But not because you wanted to make things right. You came here because you couldn't handle the guilt. You wanted to feel better. He didn't deny it. I faced him. So what now? You expect forgiveness? Redemption? No, he said quietly. I just didn't want to lie to you anymore. You didn't deserve that. Tears burned in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not in front of him. You know what I deserve, I said. A cousin who doesn't stab me in the back. A fiancé who doesn't crawl into bed with family. I deserve better than both of you. And just like that, I realized the truth wasn't the worst part. It was knowing I'd never see either of them the same way again. I didn't ask him to leave. I didn't scream, cry, or throw things like I might have imagined if you told me this story belonged to me a week ago. I just stood there, so still I could hear the hum of the fridge, the buzz of the overhead light, the thud of my heartbeat in my ears. And Daniel sat there, across from me, not saying another word. Like he knew the damage was done. I saw the way he looked at you. He finally said, voice hollow. He loved you. Or maybe he still does. I don't know. But it didn't stop him. And I didn't stop either. I didn't want to hear it, but I also couldn't stop myself. Why me? I asked. Was this punishment? Jealousy?
What?
He shook his head. It wasn't about you. That's the worst part. It wasn't about anyone. It was 2 people being selfish and stupid. That was almost harder to stomach than if they'd plotted it out together in the dark. It wasn't just sex, was it? He hesitated. And that told me everything. I think he felt something, Daniel said. Maybe I did too. But it was messy. Confused. And it didn't last. That was the final cut. Not only had they crossed a line, they'd done it for something that didn't even mean anything. Just chaos for the sake of desire. Temporary comfort at the cost of permanence. How long ago did it stop? About 2 months. I ended it. I told him we were both cowards, and it was over. Why tell me now? Daniel's jaw tightened. Because Lena's pregnant. That hit me like a punch to the gut. I don't know what kind of man I'm becoming, he said. But I know I don't want to start this new chapter lying. So that was it. He didn't come for me. He came for himself. To clean the slate before becoming someone's father. And still, a part of me ached for who we used to be. For the cousin who taught me how to ride a bike and protected me from bullies. For the version of Sam who once cried with me when my dog died. I couldn't find those people anymore. I'm not going to tell Lena, he added. Not unless she asks. But if you want to tell her, I won't stop you. I just nodded, even though I had no idea what I'd do. He stood, inching toward the door. I'm sorry, truly. I know that doesn't fix anything. I didn't respond.
Couldn't.
My voice was locked somewhere deep, under layers of betrayal and disbelief. When the door clicked shut behind him, the silence swelled like a wave. I sat on the floor, alone in the home I'd imagined building a life in, with a man who now felt like a stranger and a cousin I couldn't even look at without hearing the word liar. I'd always thought betrayal would feel loud, explosive, but the truth? It's quiet, like something breaking in the dark.